think United should be bold against Burnley because if you lose against Burnley, I mean, your back is already at the wall. On the wall, you know. If you draw, it's as good as a loss. So why not just go at it and get these 3 points and start, like Sir said, and start to build the momentum, because there's no other team. It can't get any easier. Yeah, Burnley looks good in the eye, but they don't have they are not the finished article. They don't have the quality to finish actions and score goals. So yeah, right. EPL games of the weekend. So let's look at briefly the games coming up this weekend. City is going to be at home to Nottingham Forest. That one, I know we're going to say we expect them to win. Justice, what's your expectation of that game? Considering what Nottingham Forest have been doing, they've been really
considering what they did to Man U.
Yeah, not just Man U. You know, those guys, they've been defending good and trying to hit it. They beat Chelsea as well, remember? 1-0.
Yeah.
You know, break. So they're turning to giant
giant killers. So of course everybody wants David to beat Goliath all the time, but I just don't see this as a game that's going to happen. Nottingham Forest is starting to take shape. The players last season, if I'm not mistaken, was their first season back after what 70-something years or so. I might be wrong. And they went and they bought everybody, right? They signed somewhere in the neighborhood of about 20-something players. And it seemed like they were just all over the place. And this season, they've actually made the bold steps and they've released some of those players. Some big names like Lingard. Yeah. Some moderate names like Dennis, and some no names like the guy that they sent to MLS, the striker. But when it comes to Man City, they just have way too much momentum on their side right now. Man City is going to falter. I just don't see them faltering to Nottingham Forest. So I see this weekend's game as a very comfortable win for Man City with a scoreline of 3-0.
Okay, so we look at the United. They're going to travel again, another away game to Burnley. I'll stay with you, Shaba. Burnley is a team that came from the Championship. Of course, we know Company is the coach there. He's been trying to get them play like City, which I have issues with. For me, from my experience watching EPL for a very long time, when teams come from the Championship, you don't try to go toe-to-toe with established teams in the EPL. You try to get hold of the league by trying to defend and avoid losses. If you can get draws, it means you can win, the lesser teams. You try to grab your 3 points, survive that first year in the league, invest money that you get for that season to strengthen the squad. Then you can start to build your stability. But he has come in, first game against City. If you don't know who he's playing, you will be surprised that he's Burnley playing against City, because they came out from the blocks and they are trying to do magic. Though they tried, but of course quality will always show. So this one, United is going to Burnley. They are winless in the league, but that doesn't mean they've been playing badly, considering what I've just said. So how do you expect United to approach that game and set up?
So United is going to Toughmore to play Company and his men. And they played 3 games this season? Because I think one or two of their games,
Luton Town also was
postponed.
Postponed, yes.
So
they played 4 games.
4 games, okay. And they've not won any game. They're bottom of the table. But they're also facing a wounded lion in Man U. But I just feel that after what I saw Man U do in Germany, I feel that this particular game is going to be a game that Man U actually does take the reins and get some points. It's unfortunate that it has to be through Burnley, but I would rather play Burnley than play Man City at this stage. At this stage of my career in EPL this season. So for this particular one, I'm going to go with Man U coming out on top with a scoreline of 2-0.
So how if you let me make you Ten Hag, how would you set up
Okay.
the team? What approach will you use, in against Burnley in this game?
Burnley is going to come out very physical. That we know, right? Our midfielders are old. Let's call a spade a spade. And a lot of the games that we lose in the
In the
midfield.
midfield, yes.
So I will bring a young, aggressive player. And the player that comes to mind is Hannibal. Hannibal is ready. He's willing to build on that goal he scored against what team was it that he came on and scored one goal? I think it was Brighton or so, if I'm not mistaken. So I would go, and he's a ball playing midfielder. If you watched him in the preseason, he's actually pretty good with his feet. He's good with the passes.
The young boy, right?
Yeah. The I think it's Algerian or so with the
Yeah, I think
hair.
he scored in the preseason as well.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah, he
did.
scored one very
He's actually
lovely
a very
long range goal.
yeah. He's actually a very good player. So I would go with him and I would drop Ericsson, unfortunately. Not because Ericsson lacks the creativity, but because Ericsson lacks the speed and he lacks the aggression. We already have the creativity there in Bruno. We have the aggression there in Casemiro. So what we need is someone that is going to balance them in the middle. And I would love to see Amrabat get a run in. I've not seen that guy. He was meant to play against Bayern, but he didn't because of injury. But he's back training now. So I would love to see him get on the field. But what I would do if I were Ten Hag is do the same thing that I've done all season, and that's counter, right? Burnley is still a young team in the EPL this season. They're the newcomers, so they're going to be shy. They're going to want to sit back and defend. And eventually, out of them, like you said, trying to play like City, they're going to come out to come and attack the ball, and that's when you catch them. Alejandro has proven that he's ready for the stats. Marcus Rashford is starting to fire based on what he did in Germany,
Mhm.
and Rasmus, oi, that guy is going to be a beast this season.
Mhm.
So I would go for that same counter, hold the ball, draw out the attack, create that space between the attack and the midfielders, and just give one pass to Bruno and hope that Bruno is able to lift his head up and find the wingers. And I believe that's going to be our way to success. Using those wingers, those speedy wingers, cut back, and we should be successful at sophomore this weekend.
Okay, yeah. So, sir, what's the expectation, and what do you think? How do you think this one is gonna pan out?
So whenever I have seen like whenever we played against Burnley, like it's always like a low scoring game most of the time. Especially like whenever they play any big team, it's usually like a low scoring game. So I feel United they're gonna win 2-1 or it could be a draw. I mean, it's not that I feel that United are definitely winning this because when it comes to like Arsenal versus Burnley, whenever I saw that game, like we always, like sometimes struggled to open their defense up.
Mhm.
And that's why it's like for us, it has been always a low scoring fixture. And even when I saw their, like previous matches against big teams, it's always, low scoring. So I have a feeling like Burnley might come up with a point, if they defend right. It could be like a one all low scoring game, but I feel like United will bounce back like on the weekend this weekend because of their last three games. And yeah, they need to win. They need to get back on the winning. They need to get back their winning momentum. And this is going to be their game to, get their first W in last few games, I feel so.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a low scoring game again. Yeah.
I will say exactly the same. For me, I think United need to be a little bit strong in the defensive mid position. I don't know how Ten Hag wants to do it. I don't, contrary to opinion that Casemiro is finished, I think the problem is that Casemiro is not built to be a sitting defensive midfielder. He just refuses to just sit there. He's always wandering all over the place. So Ten Hag has to find a way to play him, either by playing McTominay to sit. Then Casemiro can do his thing running around. If you see, since last season, he's been getting a lot of goals for United. You don't get those goals by sitting as a defensive mid in front of shield in front of your defense, which means he's mobile. And that's why he always gets in trouble in the midfield, because when he's out of position, nobody is covering him. He gets dragged all over the pitch. So Ten Hag might have to find a way to find somebody that will sit behind him and let him do the dirty work around the midfield. Probably that might be the best way going forward for United, because he leaves that position, gets a goal, but then they concedes 3 goals. Then he lose the game, but he has scored 1 goal. Now the reputation is that it's a scoring midfielder, but you're leaking goals. You're supposed to be shielding your defense. So I think United should be bold against Burnley, because if you lose against Burnley, I mean, your back is already at the wall. On the wall, you know. If you draw, it's as good as a loss. So why not just go at it and get these 3 points and start, like Sir said, and start to build the momentum, because there's no other team. It can't get any easier. Yeah, Burnley looks good in the eye, but they don't have they are not the finished article. They don't have the quality to finish actions and score goals. So they are there for the taking. You know, as long as the United can be stronger defensively. Unfortunately, you guys lost Wan-Bissaka. I don't know if he's going to be fit for this game. I think that's one of the reasons why you're considering some of these goals, because if you have Dalo on the left side and Wan-Bissaka on the right side, I think it helps the central defense a little bit, because these guys are good. They have good pace, and they're also good defenders. So, like you said, Højlund, I expect him to be a very good acquisition for United this season. He looks like a hungry, a beast, somebody that is willing to fight, and he has eye for goal as well. So I think Ten Hag should set up the team. Once United is set up very well, another thing I think that has been problem with United is it looks like there is something about the spirit in camp. So he might have to settle down and talk to the players and get them back on board with him. Then they can push on from there, because United right now, the spirit looks fragile. It looks like a team that is not strong mentally. As now, I'm not saying they're finished article, but we had this problem some years back that any little stuff, everything just falls apart. So he needs to, I know as a coach, trying to stamp your authority, but sometimes you take some steps backward and try to galvanize your team and get them together. Because because United has the quality, they have the players. Sometimes when you look at the team sheet, it's not that bad. So something has to be wrong somewhere. It has to be out of technical ability on the field. Then it's for the coach to address. So I think if he can do that, United can start from this weekend to start to pick points and build confidence, and then go. So them do this last season after losing the first 4 games of the season, and they went on to qualify with Champions League. Why can't they do it again? So it's just for Ten Hag to sit up. The next game is Chelsea is playing at home to Aston Villa. This is another team another giant in English football that needs to wake up. Unfortunately, they're playing against Aston Villa, who I think they lost their last game, who also are wounded at this moment. And for me, not as a club, but in terms of a team, are a better team than Chelsea right now. So it's going to be a very difficult one for Chelsea. I think Aston Villa has what it takes right now to go home with the 3 points after that game. And I don't know what you guys think. For me, I think Pochettino needs to figure out his team selection. I think is one of the problems that they're having right now. One thing I like about successful coaches like Ferguson, Wenger, and some other coaches that have coached in EPL, they identify 14, 15 players that they trust, and they keep faith with them for a run of games. They build confidence, they build cohesion and understanding, and then they will start to add, here and there when it's needed. But Pochettino changing players every game, I don't think he's helping Chelsea at all. So he needs to identify the players he wants to at least give a run of 5 games. The last match, he started the game left back, benching Ben Chilwell and using Colwill on the left back. Colwill is a center back. So that didn't help Chelsea going forward from the left flank. So I don't know what he's thinking. So I don't know what you guys, think about this one. Chelsea at home to Aston Villa.
So Aston Villa has been playing very well. Unai Emery is doing something fantastic with those boys. Bringing in Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen, their striker Oli Watkins, even the defense. You have Ezri Konsa, who just signed a new contract, by the way. Then you have their captain Josh McGinn. Oh, McGinn, I don't know.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
McGinn, yeah.
so
Then Bowen as well on the right flank.
Jared Bowen is a West Ham.
West Ham. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So, but they have the personnel to really put a hurting on Chelsea. But Chelsea is playing at home, and they do have this guy, the striker, that I just love watching him. He plays like he's gliding. Jackson. That is one of the best to me. That is one of the best top nines right now in EPL. He's just not firing, but when you see this guy play, the way he goes past defenders, it's like a thing of art. I wish a player like that was with Man U. For whatever reason, Chelsea is not gelling, but I see them gelling this weekend. And like I said, Aston Villa is going to give them a tough game, but Chelsea is playing at home. And I see Chelsea coming out winners with a 2-1 goal line. I don't think Pochettino is going to make the same mistake of playing a CB in the left, as a left back. And I see the formation of Enzo Fernandez and Moses Caicedo really starting to kick on after this weekend. And it seems like Raheem Sterling has started to get his mojo back again. The last game he played really well. So I see Chelsea coming out as winners this weekend.
Yeah, Sal, do you have any thoughts on this game? Chelsea home to Aston Villa.
Yeah, I actually feel like Aston Villa as a whole is having like a better season than Chelsea for sure, because when you check the table, you get to know that. So coming to this game, like I have a feeling that Aston Villa might just score like 2 to 3 goals going to them, and Chelsea might just score maybe one. They have like 11 or 12 injuries right now, and the way they started, they are not a threat to us anymore. Recently, whenever we played them, like it was very easy to just dominate the game and beat them for us as well. And the way they started again, I feel Aston Villa has all it takes to just go to Stamford Bridge and take the 3 points home. But then every like the classic Big Six, like it's never easy to beat them at their home. I would say no matter whatever game is that, unless
Yeah.
they are playing against like another side which is a part of Big Six. But I mean, Chelsea, they don't stand there anymore. But yeah, I still feel Aston Villa, they're gonna get the win tomorrow. It's not gonna be Chelsea, or maybe Chelsea are not winning. It could be a draw, But yeah, Aston Villa are scoring 2 to 3 goals over there. I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be, for me, it's going to be a very tricky game for Chelsea because Aston Villa, yes, in the eye, they look very good, but they've won, out of their 5 games, they won 2, drew 1, and lost 2. So that's not, doesn't show a team far away from Chelsea, though if you watch them play, they look better. Sometimes they come across to me almost like Brighton. I understand all the noise about Brighton, but some days they just don't show up. And Brighton will win 4-1, 5-0, blow teams away. They will go to Burnley and lose 4-1. So that consistency is not there yet. Naomi has assembled a squad of very, very talented and good players, but sometimes it just doesn't go their way. So if this weekend is the day that Aston Villa comes out firing the way they can, then of course Chelsea have no chance. I don't care who Chelsea is playing. But if it's one of those their days, of course, because right now at the bridge, the tensions are high. The fans are not going to be 100% committed to supporting the team, except the game starts and first 5-10 minutes, Chelsea gives them something to feed on. But if it starts the same way it's been going, then Aston Villa is going to have something to hang on to. And when it comes to pace and cohesion, of course, they're ahead of Chelsea in that regard. Like you said, Justice, Musa Diaby has been very, very effective for Aston Villa, and so I don't. This one is a little bit tricky for me. I can't call it. It depends on these are kind of some of the games I like to watch for like 10 minutes. Then I'll be able to say, okay, from what I've seen so far, I think it's going to go this way because either of these teams are not just obviously are better than what we will see them do in terms of a pool of talent that they have in that team. So if this weekend is the weekend that they turn up and decide to be what they should be, then of course Aston Villa has a lot to contend with. But again, if he continues the way he has been, of course Aston Villa will run away with this one. So we'll just wait and see how this one is going to pan out this weekend, and we'll review it at the end of the weekend. Then Liverpool have one of the most interesting games of the weekend at home to West Ham.
So
West Ham are beginning to show up as giant stand-uppers. David Moyes seems to have got back his mojo in the league. Last season they struggled in the league, but they went ahead and won the Conference League. Coming back this season, they've not been doing badly at all. So I don't know. Does anybody have any thoughts on this one?
Sad, do you want to go first?
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like in this game, Liverpool are playing at home. They're looking. I didn't really watch them play a lot this season, but I feel this season they'll finish in top four. And this game, they're gonna win like 2-1. West Ham is a great side. They show up too, in big games and every other game. Recently, they won the European Championship, and definitely that gave them like more energy to the squad because let's be honest, like if you win a European Championship, like it definitely adds something to your team, more energy, or it could be something which maybe you can't talk about, but there's something with them which has improved, and I feel this is one of the most difficult season in the league, and West Ham are like on sixth spot right now. And if let's say if they get a draw and they'll be very close to like top four, or if somehow they manage to win this game and they'll have 13 points just like Liverpool. So it's gonna be a head-to-head game for sure, like a close game. And I still feel Liverpool will get the 3 points. It could be another low-scoring game, like 2-1 to Liverpool. And at max, I see West Ham they might come back with a point. You never know, but I think Liverpool are taking the 3 points in this game.
Okay. Justice, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yes. This one I think is going to be the tastiest game of the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes. So West Ham is playing at home, right?
No, Liverpool at
No,
home.
Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool is playing at home. Okay. So here's what I think. This is going to be a 6-point game for Liverpool because not only do they maintain their cushion, but then they get to extend it if they win. The only problem, sorry about that, my phone, the battery is about to go down.
Oh, sorry.
The only problem with this is Liverpool still doesn't have a full starting 11, right? West Ham, on the other hand, they have their starting 11. If you were to give them a team sheet right now, you know who's going to be starting for West Ham. Liverpool with Sinjo and Gravenberch, you don't know who's going to start. With David Nunes and Cody Gakpo, you don't know who's going to start. You don't know if
even Curtis Jones sometimes, or the Diego Jota sometimes starts for the first two games. He was Jota.
So Liverpool's a little bit everywhere right now. They are getting the results, but had it been that West Ham was playing at home, I was ready to give this to West Ham.
Okay.
Like you said, Moyes has gotten his mojo back.
Mm-hmm.
I watched highlights of their champion of their Europa League game
Europa League,
today.
yeah.
Yeah, and I also watched highlights of the Europa League game of Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Now, of course, both teams got a chance to rest their top players,
Mm-hmm.
but I still saw the way they played, and West Ham was a lot more convincing than Liverpool was.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams went a goal down first. So Liverpool did concede first, West Ham did concede first, but the way they fought back and the way they went ahead to finish the game, West Ham was way more convincing. And I think that momentum is going to carry West Ham into the weekend to pull out a draw at Anfield. It's not going to be a very, very popular, comments that I'm
Mm-hmm.
making, especially if there are any Liverpool fans out there. Please forgive me, but I'm just going based on what I'm saying. David Moyes is doing something. Klopp has been struggling recently. Last season, it wasn't until towards the tail end of the season that he seemed to have kicked on. This season, he doesn't seem to have really, really stamped that Liverpool fear into the opponent's minds just yet. The season is still new. Everybody has a puncher's chance. And I actually see West Ham at least taking a point out of Anfield this weekend.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards you, Justice. Using being that it is interesting that you mentioned the Europa League games that were played today. Or Liverpool went away and West Ham played at home.
Yeah.
So sometimes these things, play a role in the outcomes over the weekend because West Ham didn't travel. So the rested players, they didn't go nowhere. They don't have any fatigue, no jet lag. And on the other hand, Liverpool might not get home till later tonight or first thing tomorrow morning and probably will not train tomorrow, recovery. Then Friday, Saturday, you have your game. So it kind of favors West Ham a little bit better. Again, West Ham is a team that doesn't really play on front foot. So getting organized is not a big deal. They always get organized, play kind of low blocks and hit you on the corner. Liverpool, on the other hand, of course, which means West Ham has what it takes to contend Liverpool. But Liverpool, on the other hand, are not very good defensively this time around. They're still struggling defensively. They have issues in their defense. And the kind of Arsenals that Aston Villa, West Ham has, they can hurt any defense in the EPL. So it's going to be a tricky one again for Liverpool. Like you mentioned, this is apart from the North London derby that's going to happen on Sunday between Arsenal and Tottenham. And Tottenham Hotspur. This is about the next testiest game of the weekend. I can't miss Liverpool West Ham, and I will have to watch that game. It's going to be very, very intriguing and very interesting. So depending on what side of the bed that West Ham players wake up from. So like you said, Liverpool, they have the players, but the cohesion is not really completely there yet. Individual brilliance has been winning them games, here and there. Then these two teams are coming to this game with, I think, in the last 3 games or 4 games they've won. In the league, West Ham have won the last 3. They only lost to City. And while on the other hand, Liverpool have won all their last 3 or 4 games. So it's going to be interesting. These are two teams that are in form. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm not going to say Liverpool will win. Neither will I say they will lose. So it's going to be one of those games that you can't stick your neck out. You just watch. It's the kind of game as a neutral you want to watch. You want to really sit down and grab a glass of drink and enjoy the beautiful game. Yeah. So let's go to the last game of review this tonight, which is of
Drum
course
roll.
Arsenal at home to Tottenham Hotspur. This one, of course, like Sir mentioned earlier, is always the first to check on the fixtures every season for every Arsenal player, every Arsenal coach, every Arsenal fan. When are we playing Tottenham? You go and mark it on your calendar. This season, they're starting the war at the Emirates first. In the recent years, so in fact, for a very long time, I think 2012 was the last time Tottenham won away to Arsenal. So they usually don't win at Arsenal. And Arsenal, on the other hand, find it difficult to also win at the White Hart Lane, though we have won more against them at their home that they have won against Arsenal. So it's going to be a very intriguing one. Right now, the Kostapoglu, they call him Angibo, has come to Tottenham. It looks like he's been there for ages, changed the brand of football they're playing. They're scoring goals for fun, winning games. Tottenham fans right now are even raving that they're going to win the league. You can imagine. And, so it looks like Harry Kane leaving them is like something good happening to Tottenham. Arsenal, on the other hand, unbeaten this season as well. Just finished dismantling PSV 4-0 at the Emirates. High spirits and everything looks good for both teams at the moment. And these are two teams that are playing attacking and exciting football at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting one. I don't know. Let me go start with you, Justice. What's your thoughts about this game?
Very simple. Arteta started the project 3 years ago. About 4 years ago, 2019, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but there isn't one single senior player that Arteta met that is still there. He has slowly but surely.
Yeah, he has one, but he's not playing right at the moment. And then.
Oh yeah, Elneny has been on vacation for a very long time, but he has basically molded that team into what he wants. Every single player that is playing for Arteta right now has either been promoted by him or bought by him. Right?
Apart from then Saka too. I think Saka had his debut.
Saka came from the
but he had his debut under Emery though.
Yeah. But my point is Arteta now has.
I understand what you're saying. His team.
Yeah, he now has his blank canvas, right? And that's why him finishing seventh the first couple of seasons, it was him walking his way to his masterpiece. And right now, Arsenal is about as close to finished as it gets. I made a comment last season to Ogrum where I said that Arsenal had a unicorn season. And I stand corrected because seeing what Arsenal is doing this season, I mean, it's blowing my mind. Arsenal is everything is connecting. The Odegaard is, I guarantee you, Real Madrid has probably fired whoever that sanctioned his sale. You know, this guy is not just playing very well; he's connecting. There's that chemistry between the strikers, and if you're interchanging Jesus with Nketiah or you're interchanging Martinelli with Trossard, everything just fits into place like as if it's a Lego. You know, I don't see how Tottenham is going to be able to break this. I don't care how Tottenham is playing right now. I don't care how beautiful their football is. I don't care who their coach is. The game is being played at the Emirates. I see Arsenal wiping the floor with Tottenham.
So I know you have been. This one has been tipping you. In fact, you have been raving against the Tottenham. You can't wait for Sunday to come. So, what's your thoughts on this game? How do you think it's going to pan out? What do you think? What do you think Tottenham are going to try to do at the Emirates? How are they going to approach this game? And how will Arsenal notify and dismantle them as they did to PSV?
Look, all I know is they can try all they want. In the end, only we get winner chicken dinner in this game. No matter what.
That was a good one.
you know one thing I like about the Tottenham against Arsenal? It is never a dull moment, bro. It's fire for fire. Nobody sits down, sits back to defend, try to ease. I've watched this game for years. It can never be boring. And it's always a high scoring game. You remember names like Robert Pires, Henry, Thierry Henry. I remember one goal Rosicky scored one time. I think that game ended 2-1. They came to Emirates one time and they scored Arsenal. I think it was 5-4 that the game ended. There was one game that one former Arsenal player, Bentley, scored from almost at the middle of the pitch against Armenia. You know, there's so many exciting history, behind this game. And it's going to be, of course, I don't even know how to analyze this, but there's no tactical analysis towards this one. It's always about emotion and passion on the day. Who wants it better. But somehow, no matter how they form, either team is on. Once they go away to the other side, it's almost impossible to win. It has nothing to do with form, it has nothing to do with number of players that you have. But last season, Arsenal managed to do a double on them. 3-3, I think it was 3-1 at home and 3-0 away. Tottenham
2-0, yeah.
are trying
2-0 away.
to, revenge that this season. The fans are up for it. They are making all the noise on the social media, online, everywhere. Angie bought this, Angie bought that. But I know they know their place. Not
I
London
mean,
is always red and will continue to be red. So
Tottenham has been playing very well. Madison seems to have been revitalized. Romero is the stalwart he's always been. Um, and the midfielder that they got from Brighton, what was his name?
okay, Pasuma.
Yeah, Yves
Basuma, yeah.
Bissouma. He's also playing very well. It's going to be a very physical game, and I think that's going to play in Arsenal's advantage. If you would notice one thing, this season the referees have not been lenient at all. They're very, very generous with the cards.
Yeah.
I see Romero going against Jesus in that South American rivalry, and I see one of them picking up a yellow card, and quite often it's the defender that ends up picking up a red card, and quite often it's the defender that ends up picking up that red card. So I see the physicality working in Arsenal's favor, where Tottenham is not going to know how to
Deal.
contain Arsenal. They're not going to know how to deal with them. They're going to start playing really rash. The referee is going to issue the cards, and Tottenham and Arsenal is going to run away with this game. So it's going to be a very fun one to watch, but I just don't see how Tottenham is going to pull this rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah. I agree with you. And that brings us to the end of the show. Guys, you've heard our views on these games. We've heard our predictions. We've called the ones we could call. Please, like you said, get busy in the comment section and let us know what you feel about our opinions on this game. And let us also know what you think that's going to be the outcome of these games, especially the North London Derby. Of course, we know that's the game of the weekend. It's going to be very exciting, regardless of which team you support. Is always just like United going against City. It's always a game to watch, or Liverpool against Everton. These games are games that when they come on the table, every EPL fan, somehow enjoy, and they never fail to build, to be what they have been called to be. So let's hear what you think. What's your preview about this game, especially Arsenal at home to Tottenham Hotspur, then United, West Ham going to Liverpool. As a Liverpool fan, as a West Ham fan, let us know what you think, how you think these games are going to pan out. Of course, United is a very, very madly, massively wounded lion, trying to find something to hang on to stay afloat the river. So let us know, do you think United will be able to, surmount this mountain at Burnley this week, at Tough Mud this weekend? It will be interesting to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you have not done so yet. We really appreciate that. We're still on our way. Yeah, actually, before we go, let's give a big shout out to our viewers. We will beg them that we are on the road to getting our 2,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Bro, I can announce that we have already surpassed that number. We have 2,100 and more subscribers on the table.
Wow.
So guys, we are so
Amazing.
happy. Transit TV, that means you guys are enjoying what we are doing. We are so happy, and we appreciate what we are doing. The next target will be 5,000 subscribers by the end of October. So let's go, keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscription button if you have not done so. And we are glad that you are with us on this journey. And this keeps to continue to motivate us to keep doing what we are doing, staying up late nights and early mornings to watch games, to bring you insights to these games when you don't have time to watch them, so that you can listen to us and have a feel of how these games panned out. Justice, I am so glad to have you on the show. Thank you for showing up again and standing by us. Sir, my man, good to see you again, bro. I know you're very happy and you're looking forward to Sunday. We will see
For
you
sure.
at the Arsenal headquarters in Houston.
And don't forget, bro.
Yeah,
I bought
exactly.
you a shot for every goal as per my
Oh, okay.
rule.
No problem. I
Every
hope
goal we score.
probably after the interviews, then I will take it. So that will be I will normal to take
That's
the
a great idea.
interviews. Yeah, but thank you, bro, for the offer, and I will take it. Hopefully, we'll win the game and we'll have fun together, guys. Thank you very much, and have a good night, and see you again after the weekend. Bye for now.
All right. Bye.